Happy Wednesday, everybody. This is Brian Terrian here from the Disability Digest, and welcome to our YouTube live event. We have a new special guest here with us today, Mr. Avion Samuels. Thanks for joining us. Philip Price is here. Good to have you back, Philip.
Hello, everybody.
Hello,
Yes,
everybody.
yes. So today we are going to take some time to answer your questions. You can put them in the chat, or you're going to be able to call in with your questions. So we'll do that in a minute. But first, before we get into it, we want to cover an area that is important for a lot of people that are thinking about or going through the disability approval process, or maybe this has already come and gone for you, but it could be information that you can pass on. And what I'm referring to is like when life gets in the way for you and you have to reduce or stop your work, like the applying part of disability. Um, that what goes on at that point in time, like how much can you work and go through that. So actually, Avion is an advocate here at the Disability Digest, and he has collected a bunch of real life questions from our members that we will go through and walk through those and answer those. So again, we'll take questions. This information, if it doesn't directly apply to you, we encourage you to pass it on and help make a difference. All right. Man, I love that jacket you have on, Avion. That is sharp. Oh, you're on
Thank
mute.
you.
Oh, by the way, everybody, if you're celebrating Lent, happy first day of Lent. And for all of you out there celebrating Valentine's Day, very happy Valentine's Day to you. Yes. Okay. All right. So what'd you come up with, Avion? What are some of the questions that members have that have been passed on to you? See if we can help them out here.
Yeah, since I've been here, good afternoon, everyone. Hey, Philip. Hey, Brian. Since I've been here as an advocate, one of the frequent questions that I have received here are for members who have signed up that are working. And, you know, so I've put together a few questions, for you, see if you can, you know, help address what's going on. So what impact does my current employment status have on my eligibility for SSDI benefits? And what are the specific medical criteria related to my ability to work so that I can be aware of my SSDI eligibility? So
Okay.
it's like a double-binder question.
So the work and the condition, how does that impact eligibility?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. So working, this is a good one because if you're working, and by the way, for those of you out there, I would love to hear from you on this. How many months was it from the time that you were diagnosed to the time that you had to let me rephrase that. How many months was it from the time that you were diagnosed with your conditions to the time that you were earning less than $1,000 a month? If everybody could just take a moment and put that in chat, that would be helpful. All right. So let's unrack this or unpack this question. If you're currently working and you are earning more than $1,550 a month, like, and that's what it doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be a truck driver, a janitor, a cashier, or rocket science. But if you're over that threshold, then you're earning more than the allowed amount to apply for Social Security disability. Okay, now there's a condition piece of this that you came in with, Avion, too, right? regardless of the condition, you could be medically qualified. You could be like plain wicked hurt. But if you're still working, then you are showing that you're over the limit. Now, there's a second piece of this. Second piece is if you are earning below $1,550 a month, but your amount of work that you're doing is over 20 hours, then you're still considered, that is another eligibility criteria. So money and time.
Yeah, wow.
Right? So again, that is the trump card that would take any condition. You could have stage 4 cancer, you could have a massive heart attack, you could have, but you're exemplifying and you're actually proving that you can work. Okay. Helpful?
Yes.
Hope so. Good. Good. All right.
And yeah, I had a follow-up question to that. Yeah, for members who are working, if they wanted to stop working, is there a program or assistance that they can, be on, they can get so they can start their process?
The best, well, there's two programs. One is your own program to have a stash of cash. And the reason why I asked about the audience out there is how many months it was from when you were diagnosed to when you stopped working, because I want to kind of get a feel for that. Because even if you have like 6 months worth of savings, the approval time for disability, just for the initial decision right now, on average, is 233 days. So you're not going to have enough money in that plan to go through it. The people that have the least amount of stress going through the process are definitely ones that have other income, and other income could be Veterans Administration income if you served, or maybe you have residual income from investment properties, but these are limited amount of people. The most common one is individuals have disability insurance, and you can get this from your job or you can buy it privately. And what disability income insurance is you pay a premium monthly that will protect your paycheck if you have to stop work. And so let's say you're making, $50,000 a year, and you might have to pay $175 a month for disability income insurance. But if you have to stop working, then you would get 60% of your income. That would help you make sure you keep your bills paid, your house, your cars. That is the best solution right there. Now, you have to be working over 30 hours to qualify to get this. So it's not, for somebody here like is already out of work, too late. And likely it's, relying on savings, it's going to be too late because they're not working anymore. So this is really for people for advanced thinking. Life gets in the way for a lot of people. Unfortunately, there's 8 million people that are on Social Security disability benefits out of 300 million. So, and 100 and what is it, 1.5 million apply every year. Who wants to do the stats on that? That's what, maybe 3%.
Yeah.
So, so those are some of the things. One thing I do want to point out, though, I want to go back, Avion, to your question about working and earning money. There is a slight exception to that. Actually, this is a good example that we can go over. This is in a Facebook group that Philip manages. And this is an individual that was working full time, developed a variety of conditions, and then as his condition worsened, he reduced his work down for like 3 to 4 years. 2 points I want to make here is you have to make really a judgment call about reducing your work versus stopping your work and applying for disability. Because if you reduce your work down, then you are putting lower average numbers into your Social Security disability account. So it could impact your check account, your check amount. So this 3 to 4 years, you could definitely do some damage on your amount. Now, let's say it was 2,500, but with reduced earnings, it went down to 1,800. So these, if you're in a situation like this, it really, or no others that are, this is where, a disability benefit professional could help them out. You come in here and talk to one of our advocates. This is what we do. But I want to just go one step further on this. Let's say this individual was working, I don't know, 20 hours a week, let's say, for example, okay, and was earning $1,600 a month, right? So right on the threshold. All right. But this individual was working and was given some special accommodations, this is a special accommodations as they're considered by Social Security. And some of those could be working from home, which this individual wasn't, modified work schedule, assistive technology, adjusting to tasks that this person did. So although this person was still working, you can factor in these types of issues like, okay, if this was a normal job done by a normal person, maybe it really is the equivalent earnings of like $900 a month and 10 hours a week. So when you're right on that threshold, and I've met people that, geez, that, they would go out to their car at lunch and take naps. This is common. So they could just come back in and make it through the rest of the day. These can be taken into consideration is the point that I'm attempting to make. Hey, I see a lot of people are joining us. Welcome. We're going to take some individual questions in a minute. And just, Avian, before you have one more question?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I just want to go through some of these numbers for people that put in here from the time that they were diagnosed to when they were earning less than $1,000 was 3.5 years. Wow. 10 years. That's helpful in 5 years. Okay. So it took a while. So yeah, I mean, maybe during that 3 to 5 years, if you see it on the horizon, these are definite steps that others could put in place. So, all right, what's the last question?
All right. So the last question is, why is it so impossibly hard to get approved for SSDI while I'm working, even though medically I am disabled and I am not supposed to work?
Philip, you want to tackle this one? You hear it a lot.
Yeah, the most common answer I give is that it just presents the argument for Social Security to say, well, if you can work 20 hours a week, which is the standard in order for you to apply, that if you maybe there's some different treatment medications that can be subscribed by your doctor and improve your condition enough that you can work 30 hours a week and support yourself. So it's just
Right.
an argument that they could use.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Yeah. Yeah. I think every situation is different. The older you are, your work history, there's different factors in here. There are some instances where like we collectively look at an individual's possibility of getting approved and say, okay, well, if they had income that was in the hobby level, like $400 a month range, then yeah, probably still get them approved. But If you're a younger individual, like 30, 40s, and you're doing any work, it's tough. It's just really tough to get approved. Good questions, Avion. Did we cover all of them?
Yes, sir.
All right. We're going to open up the phone lines here in a minute. You can actually call in and talk to us, get your questions answered.
Let me address one that's here in the Facebook group.
Yeah, let's do that first.
All right, I'm gonna try to paraphrase. This is a long one. Has anyone had a hearing? I got ruled favorable by SSA to turn around and send a letter saying they were reversing the decision.
Ooh.
What does this mean?
Ooh. I actually have not experienced that with the decision being reversed. So a favorable was issued and then
They received a letter. They
yeah,
got a letter saying it was reversed.
yeah. The big question is why? If it was
Yeah.
favorable, why is it non-favorable?
Yeah.
Maybe, I have medical records, source statements. I don't know what it could be, but that's definitely the question. There will be a decision letter that will be issued, but it's not clear to me because this is a unique situation. If the decision letter will point out why it was favorable and now why it's not, I don't expect it would. So that's, yeah. I'd love to hear what you find out on that one, whoever has submitted that question.
Here's
And
another one.
yeah,
Or go ahead, finish your thought.
just the other thing too is I would really do a deep dive into that to find out if it's appealable, because you can appeal a decision at a hearing. It goes to the appeals council and then could go on to federal court. So stay in the fight.
All right, here's another one. Had my hearing January 5th of this year. Why do they take so long just to give you an answer? Is there any way to check to see how backed up a hearing office is? This is Vanston, Illinois.
This was a January hearing.
January 5th. Yeah.
January, and this is Feb. So I think this is expectations right here. Somebody doesn't understand the workflow timeline. And I'm not saying that, Social Security isn't like delaying or dragging their feet, but it is common expectations in the world that I live in and doing this work for 17 years that you can expect a decision within 90 days. Sometimes it takes longer. But one of the things that you should do, is if it's over 30 days, is start following. I'll give you the condensed version of the directions that we coach people on, is to contact the hearing office and say, listen, I understand that it's past 30 days and be grateful to find out if there's anything that I can do or provide to help you, with the process. Is there anything missing? So you're not asking for a decision. You're calling, offering to help, right? So I would encourage you to do that rather than calling and saying, where's my decision? Click could happen. Okay. All right. Let's take some calls. We can blend in some questions. So for all of you out there, I'm going to put up on the screen in a minute. I'm just getting my phone ready here. You can call in with your question. We'll take your hopefully you're calling in from your cell phone, and we'll take down your number. We'll do a little prize giveaway at the end, right? A little prize for calling in. Now, you can call in with a question, or you can call in with a success story. That'd be wonderful. I'd love to listen to those. Number is 844-717-2454. 844-717-2454. 8454. In the meantime, Avion, can you see the chat from the live stream?
Yes, I'm watching the stream on my second
Okay,
screen.
so if you peruse through there, if there's any questions that stand out that would be interesting to go through, that would be good. And you can let me know while we're, while we're also offering the option for people to call in. Again, the call-in number's on the screen, 844-717-2454. Live. Okay. All right, I see one down here from last name CUBA. I am 61, got approved 4 years ago with approval stating that I would get possible improvement, and I have not been reviewed. Okay. Will I be reviewed because of my age? I mean, I've known people have been approved, so it is possible. Greetings. Thanks for calling. Who am I speaking with?
Sean Simmons.
Hey, Sean, how are we doing today?
Hanging in there.
Good. Are you calling from a cell phone?
Yes, I am.
This 6459, last 4 digits?
Yes.
Okay. What's your question? How can I help you?
There's a history of mental illness in my family, and I believe I have some of the schizophrenic issues that a family member has that is on Social Security disability. And I believe I went undiagnosed and have suffered with schizophrenia throughout my life for a really long time. And I'm wanting to get some help, psychiatric help, and either a supplemental income, because it's affecting my ability to work.
Okay. All right. Yeah, well, listen, thanks for calling in. Could I ask a few questions, Sean, to learn a little bit more?
Okay.
Let's start with the treatment part. So have you talked to anybody about this, like even at the primary care level?
No, just family members.
Okay. Do you have any, do you have a primary care or any treating doctors?
No, but I want to get some.
Okay. You have insurance?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. So I would start there and find somebody that, ideally that you're comfortable with. I mean, I just say exercise some patience, because I'm in Vermont, and it's hard to find a primary care for people that don't have one. So just some persistence is going to be required there. And then your objective of the primary care, how most insurance working relationships are, is they will then refer you to a therapist that you could talk to. And I'm not a doctor. So maybe you have it, maybe you don't, but just the fact that you could speak to somebody and start some engagement could provide you with some help. So that would be my recommended course of action for that. So let's talk about affecting work in that piece now. All right.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'll be 48 this month.
Okay. Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
And you're working now?
No, I'm unemployed.
Okay. When was the last time you worked?
December of last year.
So 12 of 2023, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Tried going back to work, not able to find a job. What can you share with me about that?
I was fired for poor performance.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And they won't rehire me. And legally, they've been holding my check for over 30 days. They were supposed to pay me and they didn't. So that's gonna. I know it has nothing to do with this, but I'm gonna have to try and sue them to get my check.
Right. Like wrongful termination. Yeah. If we have some resources here that if you get stuck with that or want another option that we can refer you to. And I say here at the Disability Digest. Are you a member at the Disability Digest or just call in on the YouTube Live?
I became a member about a week ago and I received a link to my email for the live chat.
Okay, good. Yeah, you can just reply to the invite and just send a reminder into the support desk that you could use some help getting your check back, wrongful termination, that type of phrase, and we'll help you with that. Send you some resources. Okay. Now, with disability income, I'll address this two ways. If you were to pursue disability right now based on what you have shared with me, you'd have a challenge getting it. And the reason for that is you don't have a treating doctor and there isn't a diagnosis, right? So this is the key. It's really important to get that piece done because the approval process for disability involves having a diagnosis for a condition, and that condition is being treated. And because of your age, you would need to prove that you're not able to do any job in the US, which is possible. I mean, we've helped plenty do it, but that's the task at hand, right? So let's recap. Treatment, top priority. Contact us about your check. Just reply to the invite here and we'll help you out with that. Anything else on your mind that you think we could help with?
If disability isn't available for me, what about the idea of supplemental security income?
You still have to prove the same thing. Yeah. I think frankly that you could, if done right, if this is preventing you from working, if you get in, you get a diagnosis, you get treatment, 60 to 90 days from now, then you could, you would have addressed the challenge, and a treating physician may be able to say, you know what, Sean has had this for, I don't know, 8 months, 10 months. And, so it's been in place. So you can do this pretty quick. So I'm not saying disability is not an option. I'm saying that, and you could apply right now if you wanted to. I'm just saying it's going to be hard for you to get approved. You would be better to wait and get some stable evidence in your file that you can get approved on. Make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So, and that, you're a young individual. Once you're approved, you could do some, part-time work and supplement your income, supplement your check. So it's not like you have to stop total work forever.
I was thinking about that. I like working, but having I get triggered by different things at work. A couple of different jobs throughout the years, and I was fired from all three. I think the condition that I really think I was born with it, and it went untreated and undiagnosed, is starting to come back. It's like I can't fight it off. It's like my youngest sister, she was diagnosed hereditary schizophrenic by the time she was 17, and she's been on it since then.
Mm-hmm.
And I see what she goes through as what I've gone through, and I kind of wonder, why didn't you guys take care of me?
Yeah. Well, we'll do what we can from our corner of the world to do that. I have one more idea for you, Sean, before we part here, is if you really wanted to like top shelf this, and build your evidence, build your case file, and set yourself up for working after you're approved, is, I mean, you could test working now if it didn't feel it was, if it wasn't going to be detrimental to your health. Certainly, I don't want to recommend anything that is. But the other thing that you could also do in addition to that is you could contact your local vocational rehabilitation center, and you could just explain that this is my plan. I think I've had this condition for a long time, and I'm in a situation where I can't work anymore. I'm getting some treatment, but I do want to know like what my options may be post approval to like do some type of work. And they have benefit planners, counselors there at vocational rehab, and that's their job. So you could do that. You could do all of that now. Actually, if you did all of that, it'd be better to do it all than just part of it. So I hope you find this helpful, right? You stay in touch with us and you follow this through, and we can help you get some help.
Great. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thanks for calling in. All right. Stay tuned. We're going to spin the wheel at the end. I've got 6459 in here for you. So let's see if you win something. All right.
All right. Thank you.
You bet. Be well.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's see. The line is now open again, 844-717-2454. I feel that I addressed the question on the CDR. You don't know. So just do what you can to what you can control with your treatment and your doctor's visits and communicating your limitations, all the things that we teach you here. All right. Philip, Avion, anything going on your side before we wait for the next caller to call in?
I see a question here from Raymond Brick City. I wanted to, get some more. It says, I was unable to work and earning less than $1,000 a month, was diagnosed in May 2020, applied in March 2020 with AOD of January 31st, 20. So I'm not sure the dates are all mixed up. So I wanted to see if Mr. Raymond could clarify that for us so we could answer his question.
All right, Mr. Raymond, I'm going to take this caller here. Thanks for calling. It's Brian. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Michael Addison.
Hi, Michael Addison. How are we doing today?
Hey, I'm all right.
All right. So, Michael, are you calling in from a cell phone, this 7582?
Yeah. 599-7582.
7582, yeah. I just wanted your last four digits so you didn't tell the world your phone number and you get 1,000 calls. But yeah, who knows? It might be a good one. Maybe you'll win the lottery. Anyway, how can I help you?
Well, I have a question. I had a favorable decision from a hearing I had a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
But right after I had my favorable decision, that appeals council picked it for review, and they remanded it back to the judge for a new hearing. And my question is, what are the chances that the judge will reverse his decision or keep the decision?
So I'm wondering, Philip, this sounds slightly different than the version that you read to me, right? This was remanded. Yeah. Similar but different.
Yeah.
I mean, hard to tell, Michael, why it was remanded and what's going on. But the key is that I look at is you originally had a favorable, right?
So Michael, are you calling in?
Oh, I hear my voice in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could turn that volume down, not that I
Okay.
don't want to hear myself. I just, I'm distracting myself, I guess is what I'm saying. So the thing is that we really don't know why it was remanded or why it was pulled. This happens at lower.
Well, I can tell you.
Oh,
I can tell you.
all right.
It was remanded because they said the judge didn't give the previous medical opinion. He didn't give it. He didn't give it a full. He didn't look at it. He didn't look at the other medical opinions. And my onset date, because I was previously on SSDI, I got terminated. So my onset date we had was for my previous SSDI onset date, and the judge said I can't use that. I mean, the AC said I can't use that onset date because it was previously used. So that's the two reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know on this one. There's so many variables in this. You know, I could guess and have a 50% shot of saying it, but my only hope is that this is going to work out. I mean, one thing is you were on benefits before. You've got a lot of momentum going for you, right? And I don't know. I just don't see anything based on what you're telling me that would give me an indication that it's not going to go in the right way for you. But I'm working on limited information. Case files are huge. You probably have piles of medical documents, and that piece I don't know. I haven't seen.
Yeah.
So you were on benefits before, and how did, if you don't mind my asking, Michael, how did that work? That you were on benefits, then you were off, and now you're getting back on. Did you go back to work?
No, I got terminated for incarceration.
Oh, that'll do it. Okay. All right. And so now you're back and you're getting back on them. Yeah.
Yeah, I got out and I applied. I got denied twice, and then I got my hearing, and then I got fully favorable at the hearing.
All right.
But then it got remanded.
All right. Well, everybody out there listening, send Michael positive vibes for favorable.
Yeah.
Let us know how it goes when you get through this. All right.
All right. Okay.
Thanks
All
for
right,
calling in. Stay tuned for the end. We're going to spin the dial. All right.
All right.
You bet. Bye. Okay, lines are open. We'll take one more call. 844-717-2454. Either of you want to talk about anything? Got anything going on over there? Oh, here's one. Can I file a complaint against the local Social Security office? I've gotten 2 incorrect overpayments. You know, this is a good one. I would say, Greg, I would contact your local representative. We have directions here, if you remember, or you can just search the YouTube channel for keyword representative. I would bring the heat on that one. If they've made a mistake, these are things that your local congressional office, you know, they want to know about. And right now it is a really hot environment because of our current political climate. So I would definitely do that. That could be some fun. Let me see what some of these others are. Once you get a hearing date with an ALJ, should or can your attorney representative reach out and try to get an approval? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty standard practice. Hang on, I'm going to take this call and then I'll finish that one up. This is Brian. Thanks for calling. Who am I speaking with?
Terry.
Is that with a C?
No, T.
Terry. All right, Terry.
Yeah.
And Terry, is this a cell phone that you're calling in from? The 4575? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Terry, one moment. I just want to finish my answering this question about a hearing, and then we'll chat for a minute, okay?
Okay.
So I was answering a question, Terry, about somebody that's going to a hearing and they wanted to know if they can have their attorney reach out to the judge and request a favorable, which in my opinion is pretty standard practice where you request new medical records on the file. New meaning that the medical records are updated from the initial application, all the ones that Social Security has requested, all the way up to the most current. And then the representative would write, representative attorney or non-attorney would write a brief to the judge asking for an on-the-record decision and would reference all the key parts of the case file, meaning the medical records and the other evidence that would support a favorable decision. So yes, 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 go for it. All right, Terry. What can we talk about? What's on your mind?
Well, my question is, I'll be turning 63 next month.
Mm-hmm.
And I applied in 2021, but they put my disability back to when it first began in 2020. Denied, first filing, of course, as always, but approved at appeal level. And then nowhere in anything I've ever gotten from them does it show anything about any type of medical improvement expected or not expected. It doesn't show anything about CDRs. I've never had a CDR, and I didn't know if that's just because it was approved at appeal level or if those are only included in letters that went to before a judge. I'm just wondering if I should anticipate getting a CDR.
Do you feel left out that you don't have a CDR yet, Terry? Is that what it is?
Oh, no, I'm quite happy. People scare me.
I know. I hear you.
When I know they did surveillance until after I was approved, and then I would have panic attacks because I'd see this guy in a car parked down the road watching me, and I was terrified. I was being stalked or something, and then I found out later, now I know what that was.
Yeah.
So
So
my house is pretty boring, which I can't do much. So
right.
all they do is I show up, and my housekeeper show up, and my grocery delivery person show up because I can't do that stuff.
Okay. Now, a few questions so I can get a better understanding here. When you were approved in 2021, what level of approval was it? Like when you just applied at your initial, or was it reconsideration after
No, I turned down, and then they went for reconsideration, and it was approved.
Okay.
It never went to judge, or it
Okay.
just said, like
Okay.
the original file, then the second process approved.
Okay. Yeah, your situation is common. They don't provide any sometimes they do. They'll say under things to remember, but it doesn't sound like they gave you anything to remember. The advice that I have received from the industry expert, James Mitchell Brown, if you really want to know the details, is to request a copy of your case file. And in there, if there is anything written about a review, then it will be in there. Or you may learn about, is in their opinion, is there probability for improvement in your condition? If there is, then, you could have a review. But here's the other way to look at it. You're 63 now, right?
Well, turning 63 next month, yes.
Okay, another one with soon to be birthday. So happy early birthday or birthday to be. So at 63, it's still possible up until your full retirement age, but the probability decreases as you get closer to full retirement age. So, I mean, you could go through and review your whole case file and go through all the shenanigans of requesting that. Definitely, you can. But the other thing, or in addition to that, is if you just focus on going to your doctors, communicate your limitations, make sure that your medical records have the information in it that we advise here, then you're taking care of, what you can control.
Oh, I see my doctor actually just saw him yesterday. I see him every 3 months. I see my cardiologist. The appointment's coming up. I mean, I've had issues. Well, I was born with some issues, but they started really going south in the 90s, and they gradually got worse and worse and worse to the point I couldn't work, and I just finally broke down and thought, well, I'll try, and
Right.
God bless me, I didn't have to go through the whole thing like so many people do.
I know. Well, that's good. That's the good news. But I guess my encouragement to you is keep doing what you're doing on the medical side, and not worry about it. I would discourage you from calling in and saying, "Hey, where's my CDR?" You don't want to do that. So,
Don't
yeah.
poke that.
Yeah, don't poke the
But
bear, Philip says. Yeah,
private doctors.
yeah.
Social Security sent me to doctors too prior to that approval.
Yeah, I think you'd be fine. Are you doing any type of work?
Oh no, I can't. Are you kidding?
Okay. No, I was serious, but yeah.
Oh no, I'm not capable of it.
Okay. All right. Good. Anything else on your mind I could address?
No, I appreciate you taking my phone call.
Well, I appreciate you calling in.
Volume down so I could hear you on the phone and you wouldn't hear the background noise.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Good. All right. Well, good luck. Keep the checks coming, and you'll be fine. That's my optimism. All right. Okay. You bet.
Have a good day.
Okay. Bye. All right. We are going to spin the wheel here. Let me just finalize this.
I have a question. I see a question in the chat here that it's a two-parter.
Okay.
It's
me.
from Kim. She's self-employed. She resells on several platforms. She wants to know if she needs to report to Social Security, even if I don't go over the allotted amount. So that's part one.
Okay. Should I address part one, Avion, or you want to hit me with both and see if I can remember them?
Hit me with part one, then I'll give you part two.
Okay. My opinion is when you look at the award letter, it says, if you work, let us know. So you're working, I would let them know. And it could be as simple as you could call them, but it's no guarantees they're going to document it. You could send them something in writing to your local office. Just say, I'm starting a part-time business. I hope to make $200 to $300 a month or something like that. And just make sure that it has been sent with confirmation of receipt, because it is your responsibility. Now, with the work that you're doing, I think it's fantastic that you're doing this. Just make sure that you keep track of your expenses, because your expenses will be reduced from your gross amount. And there's also special workplace incentives for those that are disability recipients, such as service dogs. Those are now deductions. So that was a good one. What was it? Online selling?
Yeah, she didn't specify, but she just said she resells on several platforms. So that could be drop shipping, yeah. But you actually answered both parts with one go. So that's pretty good. So
wow.
Yeah, so because she wanted to know, she was saying that her gross looks good, but she has a lot of expenses, and you did, address that at the end there. So the second question is that I live over can I live overseas on SSDI? Been on it for 12 years so far. My dad is sick. I'll have nowhere to go when he passes. housing wait is 12 years. I have relatives in Thailand that will take me.
Yeah, if you live overseas, there is I am 96% certain it's like a 6-month rule. So you have to keep into consideration that Social Security could, if they catch up to you, terminate your check. Now, when you reach full retirement age, then it's not an issue. So if you're doing this and you're like 64, then they'd have to catch you within the next year. So you have to kind of balance the probability of that. I hope I don't get called out for this advice. Somebody's at my door. So the other piece you have to take into consideration is like this call that Terry just had, is your Social Security award has a clause in it that you're expected to maintain treatment for the conditions that you were approved from, and by acceptable medical sources. And if it is outside of the US, can you still like fulfill that? So that's the other thing. I mean, I know in like there, let's take the Philippines, for example. If you're in the Philippines and you're a U.S. citizen, then you can go to the U.S. base there and you get treatment from U.S. doctors. So you can go to the Philippines and check the box, right? Except for the 6-month thing. You can get the treatment piece taken care of. So depends. That's the big answer. Good question. All right. Are we ready to spin? I'm gonna give away a prize here. I just saw a red line on my screen. Is somebody drawing on my screen messing with me? No? All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We have 3 callers that called in today. I'm gonna spin the wheel. I'm gonna give away a $40 Amazon gift card to the caller that the spinning wheel stops on. So we have Sean, Terry, and Michael. Anybody want to place like side bets, a prediction who it's going to be?
Terry.
It's Michael.
Terry? Oh, all right. Gee, Sean's not getting any love, so I'm going to go with Sean. All right, let's go. This will be sent out right after the meeting via text to your cell phone. Look at that. All right, Michael.
That's how it's done.
$40 Amazon gift card coming your way. We do this, folks.
There you go, Michael.
Because we want to, but we are in a partnership with Google, who owns YouTube, and they sponsor, they do revenue share on our videos with us. So we like to give some of this money back and have some fun and thank people for showing up here. So we will be back next week. Avion, thank you very much for your contribution. Mr. Philip Price, as always, wonderful to have you here. If you're new here, welcome. Encourage you to subscribe, ring the bell. For more information about the Disability Digest, go to the disabilitydigest.com. Customized approach to help you get, keep, and maximize your disability benefits. Till next week, folks. Make it a great day. Thanks again.